Have you ever sat next to someone who tosses out kind words like confetti, yet deep down, your gut whispers that something's off? You know that feeling, when their friendliness seems genuine on the surface, but an uneasy vibe creeps in, hinting that not everything adds up. Maybe you've experienced that quiet nagging, a little tug of intuition telling you there's something shadowy lurking behind their bright smile. Carl Jung, one of the sharpest minds to ever explore the human psyche, talked about this idea called the shadow. He described it as the secret side of ourselves we shove out of sight, the stuff we refuse to admit exists, but it still sneaks out in how we act toward others. Think about it. When someone's nursing feelings like hate, envy, or bitterness, they usually try to bury them deep. But here's the kicker, they can't hide it all the way. Tiny clues slip through the cracks, faint but impossible to miss once you know what to look for. So today, I'm going to walk you through 8 crystal clear signs that someone near you might be hiding hostile vibes, no matter how hard they try to play nice. Heads up though, sign number 8? It's the sneakiest of the bunch, and it might totally flip how you view certain folks in your life. Before we dive in, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button on Time of Truth channel. That way, you won't miss out on more videos about growing personally and spiritually. Alright, let's get rolling. The first sign to watch for is contempt. Let's kick things off with the first sign, sarcasm and contempt dressed up as clever irony. Hidden hostility doesn't always come barreling out in the open, some folks are sneakier about it. They'll toss out sarcastic zingers, sharp little jabs, or biting humor, often poking at stuff they know gets under your skin. Then, when you call them out, they hit you with lines like, "Oh, come on, I was just kidding, don't be so sensitive," or, "Geez, can't you take a joke?" It's tricky because it leaves you squirming, feeling off balance, while they get to play the part of the innocent jokester with no bad intentions. Truth is, if their so-called humor keeps circling back to the same sore spots and leaves you feeling small or embarrassed time after time, it's not just a laugh, it's a neon sign of buried contempt. Carl Jung pointed out that our shadow, that tucked-away part of us, slips out in subtle ways. When someone's always using irony to chip away at pieces of who you are, they're likely showing you a chunk of their own self they can't face. Now, onto the second sign, subtle sabotage. If someone close to you feels rattled by your wins or your growth, they might try to throw a wrench in your plans. Quietly, of course. Sabotage doesn't always look like a big, dramatic move, sometimes it's sly and under the radar. Picture this, they give you advice that steers you wrong, forget to pass along crucial info, or make tiny slip-ups that pile up and trip you up just when you're reaching for something big. Maybe a friend or family member keeps leaving out key details, muddies up plans, or shrugs it off like they're just scatterbrained. But if these little hiccups keep happening, especially at make-or-break moments, it's worth wondering if it's really an accident. Consistency is the clue here. Jung had a take on this too. He said when people can't deal with their own shortcomings, they might unconsciously take it out on you, nudging you off track so they don't feel left behind. Sign number 3 is coming up next, and it's all about silent competition. Some folks just can't handle you nailing something without itching to one-up you. Every time you score a win, they swoop in to steal the spotlight or brush off what you've done. Share some happy news? Instead of a cheerful, "Way to go!" they pivot fast to talk about themselves. Tell them about a big success, and they're already chiming in with how they've done the same thing, or, naturally, something even more impressive. This quiet rivalry often springs from a shaky sense of self-worth. They can't stand watching you glow because it pokes at their own insecurities. If every chat with them starts feeling like a tug-of-war for bragging rights, there's probably some unspoken bitterness simmering underneath. Jung had a smart take on this. He said people project their shadow, the stuff they can't build in themselves, onto others. So when they feel outshined, they'll try to dim your light or race you to the top, all to dodge their own nagging doubts. Now, let's move to sign number 4, apparent kindness that's really just surface-level support. People hiding negative feelings might cover it up with a flimsy mask of niceness, but it doesn't hold up when you look closer. Need a hand? They'll downplay what's bothering you or come up with reasons they can't pitch in. Hit a milestone? Their excitement feels fake. or they barely muster a reaction at all. This kind of thing stands out during the big moments in life. If someone you count on keeps vanishing when you need them most or shrugs at your victories like they couldn't care less, chances are their heart's not really in it. Spotting this can be tough at first, but over time, their lukewarm responses to your highs and lows tell the real story. Jung called this ego dissociation, a fancy way of saying some folks disconnect emotionally, leaving them cold and unable to truly cheer for the people around them. I hope you're getting a kick out of this video and finding it eye-opening or helpful. If it's hitting the spot, make sure to subscribe to the Time of Truth channel. We'd be over the moon with gratitude. Alright, let's keep rolling with the next sign. Control masters care. Some people love to steer your life, acting like it's all for your benefit. They're quick to tell you what steps to take, pick apart every choice you make, and plant seeds of doubt about whether you can handle things on your own. But here's the twist. Their goal isn't to lift you up, it's to keep you leaning on them. This can be tricky to spot because it often hides behind a warm smile and helpful suggestions. The real giveaway? How you feel after their input. If their advice leaves you second-guessing yourself instead of feeling stronger, you might be tangled in a subtle power play. Jung had a theory about this. He said folks who try to run everyone else's show are often wrestling with their own inner mess. By calling the shots for you, they dodge facing their own wobbly emotions. Next up, sign 6, criticism and gossip swirling behind your back. People with sour feelings don't usually come right out and say it, they'd rather whisper about you to others. They sprinkle little critiques or twisted stories into conversations, chipping away at you from a distance. This one's sneaky because it hits you sideways. You might not even notice until the fallout starts. Maybe friends or coworkers suddenly get distant or chilly, and you're left scratching your head. If that happens, someone could be spreading exaggerated tales or half-truths to dent your reputation and nudge you out of the circle. Jung saw this as a classic move. People project their own weak spots onto you, dragging you down to feel better about themselves. So, when they trash talk, they're likely spilling more about their own struggles than yours. Now, sign 7, resentment toward your success. Real friends light up when you hit a high note. They're there through the rough patches and cheering loud for your wins because your joy feels like a win for them too. But folks nursing a grudge? They can't fake that vibe. You'll catch it in their flat. "Oh, nice job," or the way they dodge your good news to ramble about themselves. Share a big moment, and they might brush it off or act mildly annoyed, like your shine is a personal jab. Jung nailed this one. He said when people can't celebrate you, it's because your victories stir up their own unresolved baggage. Your success throws a spotlight on what they haven't pulled off, so they downplay it with lines like, "It's not a big deal," or, "I did that ages ago." That's not just chit-chat, it's a peek at their buried frustration. Finally, sign 8, hidden details that scream louder than words. This one's all about the tiny, sneaky stuff, hostility slipping out in ways they can't control. It's not what they say but how they act, a quick sideways glance when you're not looking, a smile that doesn't reach their eyes, or a stiff pause that hangs in the air. They might try to play nice, but their body spills the beans. Watch for it. Maybe their voice dips when they toss you a compliment, their hands tighten up when you mention a win, or they dodge your gaze at just the wrong second. Jung was big on this. He said the unconscious and the body don't lie, even if the mind slaps on a fake grin. You can feel it too, that little ping of unease. Trust that gut nudge, it's picking up vibes your brain hasn't sorted out yet. Words might trick you, but those quiet signals always show what's real. Thanks for sticking with us on this ride. Hope it sparked some thoughts. See you in the next video.